and maybe debut, and I think I rattled in a goal from about 30 yards about 5 minutes after coming on. Like,
I have to get some footage of that debut. So we went way to that. So I say for me as an agent as well, at the time starting off, Ryan being one of my first clients, it was getting all that together, trying to create a portfolio of a player who you believe in, and you're trying to tell everyone, look, there's a hidden gem out there.
Money was crap. I was like £100 a week, you know what I mean? I had to drive 2 hours up there and an hour.
But this is the thing, and I talk about this a lot, and we will talk about this more, especially with setting up the Morecambe development squad, which we've set up. And I say this all the time, a lot of the model and everything which we've done, and which I believe in now, has come from Ryan. It's come from the work I've done with Ryan. And so when people turn around and say, I can't take that money, young players, under 21, oh no, I need more than that to play there. I'm like, well, why do you? Because I've seen other players do it, and sometimes that's what gets the best.
I was coming back from training, going to work as a personal trainer, to get me money up. Like,
if that's what you've got to do, and I always say you've got to beat the odds.
Yeah, if you've got to train, you've got to do what needs to be done.
Otherwise, if you don't change them odds and you don't beat them odds, then you're in the lad who's been released to you next door from another club or someone else. If you're going the same thing and you're all saying, we all want the same thing.
Yeah. What are you doing?
They've already got. You've got to do something different. Yeah. You've got to beat them odds. So I think we were going back, rewinding a little bit at a memorable period of our life. Say starting off, as an agent for myself as well, it weren't always about turning up in shirt and tie, being on the training ground. Yeah. When I set up Evo Football, it was the whole idea, Evo, the evolution and the change. It was, I wanted to be an agent who would be out with the player, engaging with the player, and looking at what they need, so what players want and what they feel that they need, which they don't realise until a lot of times, until they've been released or till they've been injured. They then go and see a physio or go and see a sports therapist. But players without clubs realise the needs when they haven't got a club. When they have got a club, they don't realise, they don't think that they need anything. They think they've already cracked it. Yeah. So we went and identified them things, and I was doing a lot on football psychology at the time, football psychology courses. And I remember we were working close, me and Ryan, and we were doing all extra little bits. We were doing bits of fit light training. We went up and seen Mick Clegg, who used to work at Man United. Mick gave us some great advice as well, didn't he, and helped us out along the way. And then I was on one of these football psychology courses with the FA, and we met Bartek, who does the free kick training. Well, I met him, and I remember driving home on the motorway, because I always think about this. Our thought in your mind or our moment can actually shape someone's destiny in a way. Not shape your destiny, I'm not saying that's the only way, but
all of a sudden, massive impact, isn't it?
All of a sudden, it's like I'm driving on the motorway, and I think that was when you could talk on your phone. On the hands-free. No, I'm driving on the motorway, and I just thought all the way home. I was driving from Coventry, and I thought, I've met this guy who can do free kicks here, and he's selling it to. There was coaches from Tottenham, Arsenal, big clubs who were in there, and they weren't interested. And he's talking about what he does with the free kicks and how he can help players. It wasn't a sales pitch. He was talking about the psychology behind it, but at the same time, people who were interested, it was about look, there's my number. If you need anything. I
remember getting that phone call off you.
I spoke to him at the end, and everyone else just went, okay, bye. Yeah. And when I spoke to him, he went, what club are you at? And it was just like, well, I'm actually a football agent. Yeah. Well, what player is it? He's probably expecting me to reel off a big name at the time. Yeah. So when I said it was a non-league player, he was like, oh yeah, I've been trying to get into the big clubs and stuff like that. So it was my idea. I thought Ryan didn't know nothing about it at the time. I thought, well, give him a quick call.
And it's funny because I can still remember the call. It was in December, because I had the game the day before and I'd hit the post with a free kick, just a typical side spin free kick. And you said to me, what are you like on free kicks? And I said, I'm alright. I remember doing that first session, and obviously we had the big 11-a-side goal, then on the edge of it we were using like a 7-a-side goal as the wall, get it up and over. And I started hitting these free kicks, and like none of them were landing in the goal, because it was so hard to get it up and down. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And I think, like we've been on this before, you still got the footage of that. And we started working we started working with Bartek all the time, and slowly but surely it started developing this top spin free kick. And I think obviously having a background in terms of being a technical player, it sort of...
I was just laughing, remember them times when we were doing it even in the snow?
Yeah.
We were doing it, and I'm running, chasing balls, we're hitting balls over, we're freezing.
We still put this the other day, good times, wasn't it?
We wouldn't call... I always remember Ryan said to me when he did make it as a pro, I actually miss not being a pro, because it's a time where you get and I use this now, great advice. When you're actually not a pro and you're not preparing for your next game all the time, it's a part of your life where you can concentrate on your own development. Some people take it for granted.
Yeah.
As long as you can keep focusing as a young player, that you are actually going to be there at some point, and you're not just picking yourself up, taking yourself here, going on trial there, going on trial here. You can get content and settlement and control your development.
Maximising your time.
Maximising your time, and you when you become pro, all of a sudden, I remember you saying,
team training,
I haven't got time to keep on top of my free kicks outside of my football because I know we've done that session there, I've done that session there, and then I don't want to get injured there, and then
recovery for this.
And then you've got a game on the way.
You can, when you're not full time, you can personalise what you're doing perfectly for you. But I think it all comes down to mentality. Can you sort of maximise your time and be as productive as possible? Because if you can go bum in terms of your development on your individual stuff. So obviously once you go full time, you're going to be doing fitness sessions, you're going to be doing gym sessions. Some days you could have double sessions. You know, you might get your Wednesday off, but come the Wednesday, your Tuesday's normally pretty hard at football. You're thinking, if I go out and, you know, if we used to last 300 balls a session with Bartek, you'd finish your groins hanging off, you know what I mean? So then you'd be going in on a Thursday.
Plus the clubs don't always like you doing other things, do they?
A lot of clubs hate it, to be honest with you, because they want sole control over what you're doing. The thing is though, like, my mentality's always been, if you're doing exactly what everyone else is doing, then how are you meant to be getting better than them?
Yeah. Fast forward again, we go to when Ryan was actually playing for Morecambe. I remember sitting there 8 minutes ago, something about that, was it? Wolves,
yeah.
In the cup. And I'm sitting there with my sister, and I've been banging on about this lad who takes the free kicks. For how long?
I'd had 2 free kicks as well in the game and do a decent effort, but I think the keeper parried both of them out wide, but down on the edge of the box. We had another lad who could strike a decent free kick, Tony Diani, a French lad.
He's standing over you.
And Tony's standing over it.
At this point, I'm screaming my sister, she's in the kitchen,
yeah.
and I'm going, Cheryl, this is it. She's going, what? I'm going, this is it. And my life's flashing, I'm thinking, all this work, all these running for balls in the snow, and we're here on Sky Sports. He's got a free kick on the edge of the box. I said, he's going to score. She's like, how do you know he's going to score? I said, he's going to score.
The ball was there, and Tony said, let me have a go. I fancy this. I said, but I knew I was going to score. I said, Tony, I remember the words. I said, Tony, I'm going to score this. And he looked at me. I said, Tony, I'm going to score. And my mum since told me, she was sitting in the stand with my granddad, and she said, he's going to score this. And as soon as I hit it and he was going in, like, I just, because
done too many,
like, we were doing like 300 shots a session with Bartek.
And he was that position.
So I knew sort of, I knew what the feeling was like on my foot if I connected in a certain way. I knew the outcome. It was going to go over the wall. It was going to be too high for them, you know, unless he was 6'5", it was going to be impossible for them to get jumping. And I knew it was going to dip, and you know the keepers wouldn't be able to get to it. And I remember it flew in, and I remember just running off and I was buzzing like, but before I got to sleep about 2:30, 3 in the morning. I've slept in until about 10 o'clock. Woke up, I had like 2 or 3 missed calls off the manager, off Jim, and I was like, sorry Gaff, you know, sorry I missed your call. And everyone was like, yeah, late night last night, wasn't it? Like, yeah, quite ago. He said, listen, Sky Sports want to do an interview with you for Sky Sports News for today. They're in the area already, like, where I said, I'm in bed. He said, how long is it going to take to get ready? I said, not long. He said, right there outside your door. I said, what? I was like, that brushing my teeth from the gate, didn't even have any breakfast. And they arranged to meet us up at
Brentford. It was all quick though, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
we were on the pitch.
We were on the pitch literally by 11 o'clock.
Doing the free kick.
Starving after it, yeah.
And then we were on, and then by then it was on Sky Sports News.
It was on Sky Sports News by 1
You couldn't hit one?
My legs were gone, because obviously, you know what it's like the next day after the game, you're knackered.
That was a moment for me, I remember. At the time, I was standing there, and it was a moment where, sort of like a pinnacle moment, where you sort of look and you sort of have a flash and think, all them months of chasing balls and sitting there, you know, with like non-league player, agent just starting off, and we're thinking, is this going somewhere? And it was just one moment where I looked and seeing it, and it was like a little bit of a dream, like where I thought, I looked and thought, I remember the videos on my phone, and sort of said, wow, because it was a moment where I thought, you know, we're here now. Sky filming us the day after.
The only thing.
The day after, you know, you've gone and put Wolves out the cup.
I know.
You know, it's sort of, it's amazing, and it makes you. They're the moments when you realise that, and you think, we are, you know, what we're thinking is right, and follow sort of from me the stuff, my vision, and believe. Something that I've always learned off Ryan as well. Like, you know, something you always say, you know, if you don't believe in yourself, then who's going to believe in you?
Exactly.
You're believing in yourself in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm then believing in you. We're reflecting back and forward from each other, and we sort of went on that journey together then.